Howdy guys, today on Off-Road Wizard we are going to take a seat that I pulled from a junkyard that's power heated AC, wired up, and so we can put it into our Jeep. Stay tuned. Okay, when you go to the junkyard, you're going to want to grab as much as you possibly can. So obviously the seat, and try and grab, make sure that it has all of the controls still connected to it, all the computer stuff underneath it, and then find out where the controller is for the seat, and then grab as much as you can. So I basically pulled this from the dash, ran it down, disconnected all of the stuff that was going to be, that held it in place. And I went as far as I could, which actually at this point in time, it's kind of the point at which it kind of wires and goes everywhere, because it isn't just the controller for the seat. It's also, I think this one had a hold for the parking brake, and then it goes into, I think this is for the stereo and stuff. I don't know, I can't remember now. But anyway, so you want this part, and then you want to follow it down as far as you possibly can and get all the wires that you possibly can. And if I could have gone farther with this, then I would have gone longer with it. But that's what you want to make sure that you get. Make sure this is still connected, make sure this is all still good, make sure there's nothing missing from underneath the seat, and make sure you get the controller as well as much wire and connectors as you possibly can. All right, so most seats are going to be the same. They're going to have a controller that controls all of the motion on it, and then depending on how many other things they have, they'll have other controllers for it. And then they'll probably have an airbag system on it too, like this one does, which I just deleted out. The airbags are all going to be yellow. All the wiring that runs, all the shielding, the cabling, the connectors are all yellow. All the yellow stuff is always all airbag stuff. That's how they determine what it is. So anyway, so this is my controller for the seat on this particular model. This is the controller that controls the fan for the air conditioning section of it. And then this part also controls the heater section. It's all in here. And all the wires run to this giant plug right here, which again, you want to make sure that you get this plug and as much wire as you possibly can. I grabbed as much as I possibly could because I wanted, well, you want as much wire as you can. So yeah, from here, the easiest thing to do is to get to the wiring diagram. And then once you figure out what wires go to where, then we can start wiring up and tracing wires back to our controller.
This manual has some schematics, but not one for the seats, unfortunately. It only has diagrams for the plugs, so you have to strip the covers off the wire bundle to the plug to find out what the wires are. Then you just pin everything out based on what the plug says it is. I would suggest before spending a bunch of time wiring up everything, first find what wires are needed to move the seat, mainly the power and the grounds, hook those up to a battery and just test the seat. After it's confirmed that the seat moves, you can continue to wire up the seat with confidence that at least it goes up and down and forward and backwards. Most of the time you need the seat to go forward and backwards just to mount it. One of the things to make sure of is you need to know what seat system you have so you end up looking at the correct plugs. For instance, there is a manual version of those plugs and an automatic version of those plugs. The automatic version has more wires than the manual version has. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the correct version, whatever vehicle your seats came out of. So you're looking at the right plug, if there are multiple ones. Once you have the right connectors located, I like to save those specific pictures to a separate folder. It's a lot of pages to go through. If you end up forgetting which page it's on, take you a while to get back to it. Then you print out those pages needed and you have them with you when you start your wiring. This is why you have to follow the wiring all the way to the plugs that are shown in the manual. In this manual, they don't show the middle connectors. They only show the connectors at the ends.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then these two, and then these four over here that you got to do. The big one's probably going to be power and ground, which is probably right because we have two big giant red right here. We've got two big giant black over here. And how I come up with what goes where, I don't know. I already marked everything. Crap, I don't remember how I found out what goes where. I'm going to have to find that out. Anyway, I'm going to rewrite these things because, my gosh, they are really dull. Momentary switch. That's crazy. Oh, I hate when I do that. I can't remember where I put the, or how I got that information.
All right, let me take this opportunity to say that I suggest when working on wiring, work on a specific area at a time. Ignition, gauges, fuel, air conditioning, and so on. And if all possible, stay on the same system until done. Wiring can be especially overwhelming and confusing, especially when doing it from scratch. This is a perfect example of that. I marked these wires probably 6 months ago, back when I was making sure the seat worked. And as you heard, I don't remember how I know what wire was what.
That picture that they show is actually the plug end. Done this before. So that means that on the plug end, this is number 1 to number 8 and 9 to 16. So then you got to reverse it in your brain here. So that means that it goes like this. So that means that this side over here is number 1, which means this side over here is number 1. So number 1 is going to be the top back over here. That's why there's nothing missing at number 8. Is because, or there's nothing in number 8 because there is no number 8. So number 1 is on this side over here, which is this gray. It's gray. 1 is gray. And then we just do that for all the pins. All right, so I'm going to, I'm going to keep this plug because it plugs into there. So I'm just going to mark these. I'm going to start with this pin as number 1. I'm just going to go 1, 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, 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 and then 2, blah, 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 all the way across. I'm going to make up my own numbers because I don't have this plug on any schematic. So this is number 1 plug, goes to number 1. So see 1, 2, 1. So 1 on the seat and switch.
Real quick, because I'm not sure it's obvious, the white plug is another joining plug that is not on any diagram. The black plug plugs into the back of the switches. The switch plug is shown on the manual, so I'm tracing those wires from the black plug, what I know, to the white plug, what I don't know, and writing what those pins are.
Okay, so we stripped all the wires off of this one here. And this is the seat connector here. Part that goes underneath the seat. I disconnected everything from the seat, ran it back to the corresponding controllers, and then from there I knew what was on each pin and ran the wires forward and then just transferred it over to this. So that's why these are all marked. I went ahead and remarked them with this bad boy here just to make it a little more permanent. So this is the driver's side and this is the passenger side. Passenger side has a lot less because the driver's side actually has a push button memory, so you can set the seat and then it returns back to that spot. I don't have the controller portion for that, so I'm just deleting that which is this set of wires right here, which will get deleted. Anyway, but in the meantime, until we can actually do that, I want to make sure that everything's going to work. So I'm assuming the placement of the wires seems to be about the same. You have 2 power wires on the right-hand side of the passenger one. You get 2 power wires on the right-hand side of the driver's one. I didn't pin out the passenger side, so I'm assuming that they're pretty close, or that they're exactly the same, because these wires here are in the exact same spots. So one should be like the push button. One is the LED for the high on here, and then one is the LED for the low power on here. So I'm going to wire these all together, connect them up, connect them to here, plug them into the seat, and then hopefully it works. So then we'll fire it up. So I'm just twisting these together just because this is temporary. Once I know that this is going to work, then I will actually hardwire everything all together. It looks like all of the vent stuff is on the upper row, and all the heater stuff is on the lower row. So, which actually makes it kind of nice. All right, so I'm just gonna take some E-tape just to make sure nothing arcs. And if this works, then tear it all down, measure it all out, and run the wire the length that I need. I will double check the passenger side too, just to make sure. Ooh. Fan's going. You can hear that or not? Yay. It's down a notch. So, just the heat. I gotta go test the heat here. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's working. Voltage dropped. So sitting here like this, it's 11.66, 12, 12.2. It's charging, right? I have it on the charger right now, but so I have it on there. It says 13.5, right? And then I turn on the boom, 12.7. So I go 1, and still 12.6. Perfect. Yep, it's working. Sweet. Yes. Oh, yes. Cool. Okay. I gotta fire I got to connect it all up. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to connect it up. You don't need to see that. Okay. Okay, so I have connected everything up. I've wired up the passenger side and the driver's side. I've actually plugged everything in. Let me see if I can show you guys this. Ooh, there we go. Plugged it all in. The humming in the background, if you can hear it or not, is the charger because this battery sucks. And it's basically just a pass-through for my 12 volts. So, anyway, I just want to make sure everything works before we get it into the Jeep and I cover up all the wiring and stuff. So I have it grounded here, which these will just get grounded to the chassis. And then the positive will be wired into the PMU. So I have a spot for that. So we'll just double check. So forward, backwards. This one doesn't go up or down. And then so it all works. And then this one, forward, backwards. And then the seat does a bunch of stuff on this one over here. And then backwards to forward. And then I have a lumbar. Oh, yep, which is working. You can't tell, but I can tell. All right, so then now, so left we get driver's side, passenger side, and then so we have heat, and then less heat, and then air, switch. Yep, fan's blowing. Right now. Yep, and it went down, and then air. Yep, fans going, and then less. So sweet, everything's working, everything's great. We're gonna have heated, cooled, power seats in our Jeep. I'm excited. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I have some of this split loom, which I really like using. I just got this from AutoZone. I did buy a bunch of this off of Amazon, like 25 feet of 3 different sizes. When I wired the Jeep, I really like it. I just ran out of the smaller size. So I had to go get like 10 feet or something like that. Yeah, this is 10 feet. And that'll finish this up. And then, so we're going to get it all wrapped up. And then I have to figure out how to install the plug or the push button into the center console. So that's going to be the next fun part. So, because I should have planned for that to begin with. Anyway, oh yeah, these wires right here, which are not hooked up, are the are for the lights. For I'm assuming for in the nighttime, so you can see this must illuminate the decals or something like that. So this will get wired into my dash lights so I can dim it and stuff. So anyway, that's easy. So all right, on to wrapping. So this is the other stuff I got. This is 3/4, so this is thicker, so I'm just gonna put this over. Gotta kind of cut it as you unwrap it, type of thing. This is the way I found, so I don't know, there may be another easier way, but I don't know what it is. This seems to work pretty good. One of the cool things about this stuff is that you have this perforation here, this line that's coming out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch it. So you just make sure you don't cut any wires. We just cut a little slit on the side right there. And then when you wrap it, around on each side, it just comes through and it's all solid. So I'm going to do that to these here too. This one again is probably going to get that 3/4 inch over the top of it. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry about that in 3/4. Finish this off here real quick. By the way, there is better tape than E-tape to use to do the stuff with, but this is what I've got. So this is what we're using. So on this one, we're just going to go ahead and do a quick little all the way up because I don't want this to come out of its little sheathing here. So wrap it. We'll do a quick little down. Try and make this as tight as I can. And then seal off the end here. All right. And that is that. So all in all, oh, yep, we gotta do this one. And actually, so I'm leaving these on just in case I want to use them for something. I think these went to like the USB and a couple other power things. So I have this plug. If I want to use it, I can. So I'm just gonna, this is all underneath the dash. So I'll just curl this up, probably zip tie it real tight, and then hold it to it, and then that'll be it. That way I can use it in the future if I so desire to. I probably won't, but options, right? Okay, that's the whole thing. All wired up. So yeah, gotta run these to my lights, and then this power, and then ground it out. Okay, so now on to the next. All right, so we got everything all mounted into the Jeep. So we're gonna show you. So I got, oh, I gotta turn the power on. All right, it moves, and then so let me get this thing back into place. I had it forward because I'm mounting the mounting the 4-point harnesses. All right, so what I decided to do, let me move this back here. What I decided to do was, instead of putting the switches here, I even thought about putting them over here or something like that. I actually ended up putting them in here. So it's kind of hokey, but it works. And side effect is that it actually keeps it out of the weather, which is nice. So, hope you can hear that at all. But it's blowing. So anyway, yeah. So she's done. It's in. Like both seats work. Both seats spin around here. It's a mess back there. I'm gonna live in the middle of project stuff. So passenger seat works as advertised. So exciting. Yay. So that's how you do it. So if you can get the wiring diagrams or the schematics, then you can figure out what is where. And then, like I said, when you go to your vehicle to get your donor stuff from the junkyard or wherever you're going to get it from, try and get as much as you can. Get as much of that wiring harness as you can. Get as much of the wiring harness off the seat as you can. Try and get every single plug that you can. Even the plugs that you don't think you're going to need, get them, because you never know if you're actually going to use them or not. So I ended up not having to add, no, I guess I did have to add some wire to it. Luckily, because this rig uses the same wire that runs from the plug all the way to the seats, when I actually went to wire everything up, the wire coloring was the same. So I basically just matched color to color to color to color because I had to extend it a little bit. And yeah, it worked out really nicely. So anyway, that's how you do it. So that's it for this week. I hope that was helpful and informative, and I will see you guys again next week. Take any Jeep or this. Oh. So that's it for today. Oh shoot, I can't mount that completely. I gotta put the covers still on. See ya.